Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rocky.
Happy birthday.
Shall we?
Lighthouse.
Welcome to episode 37 of the movie Lighthouse, shining a light through the fog of film. My name is James.
I'm Laurie, still.
And I'm Wyndham. And James, you didn't sound convinced.
Oh, well, I am, definitely, James. And can I wish you guys a very happy birthday?
Is it our birthday?
Oh, shit.
Me and Laurie miss this every year.
We are
We do.
years old.
3 years old.
Can you believe
Doesn't
Look at
time
us,
fly?
man.
So
Well done.
What we doing?
Well done. Congratulations.
Crawling, we're walking maybe now.
We're definitely bumping into stuff, yeah.
We've got a spin-off show,
Yeah, we do. So, yeah. We
TV Autopsy.
Yeah, so TV Autopsy, which has an amazing theme tune. I don't know if you've heard it.
Yeah.
I
That
haven't
theme
heard it
tune,
yet.
I'll tell you, that's
Oh
something.
my God, it's something else. It is something.
It's both something and something else.
Yeah. Well, it's just these sailors kind of knocked it up for us. I've been selling Alan's crochet,
Nice.
and to get 10% off, they said, "Oh, I'll knock you up a theme tune," and yeah, they're shocking. There is actually another one in the bag, but James is reluctant to play it, but we'll get there one day.
So is this now out and about and available, or?
The Autopsy, yeah,
Yeah.
it's out there.
Oof.
So there's talking of things that are out there. Last month, Laurie told us that he liked Possession so much that he wrote an Amazon review for it.
That's correct.
Well, I
Did
had
he?
that review, right?
Oh, go on.
So I thought I would read it out.
Oh, do you have to?
Treat, yep. So I won't do your voice, Laurie, but I will read.
Oh no, go on, do.
Right, people. This film is tremendous. I knew hardly anything about it before I watched it, and it blew me away. What mainly grabbed me is its utter ferocity and intensity. Just keeps growing and growing as the film goes on. Some real turn-up-to-11 stuff is delivered. The performances are outstanding. Isabel, Johnny, Sam Neill, Heinz Bennett, all giving seemingly everything they have. Blood, guts, and gristle. It must be said, Isabel and Johnny's performance is particularly outstanding. The metro scene is astonishing, pure, visceral, and truly unforgettable. Even though the genre horror seems to be tagged to this film, it's far more than that. The first half portrays a relationship breakdown in such a brutal, grisly way, it brings Lars von Trier's Antichrist to mind, which I'm sure Possession must have been an influence. Science fiction, art house, comedy, noir are all here in buckets, and having a Berlin Wall overlooking the story is a wonderful idea. The superb build of the film and answers heading to the end gave me a Hitchcockian experience. Dare I say, better. The kids, the bath, Sam at the door, Isabel's look to camera, and whatever is happening in the sky. Again, this film is tremendous. Owing to its cult and kind of unknown status, the price is a trifle more than a standard DVD. Totally
Look, listen, let me.
I
paint
thought
the scene here.
James. I thought you said you were going to read it.
I know.
Freaking out. Look, just quickly paint the scene. We'll move on quickly. But I was wearing like a top man suit. I was in my first job. It was a long time ago, all right? I was wet behind the ears. But there you go.
What was your first job?
Well, actually, my real first job was like putting letters into like lots of different boxes, and all the addresses were like weird numbers. But that was a different job. So actually, yeah, all right. This is kind of like I was 3 jobs in.
So what was your third job then? The job at the time?
I was a recruitment consultant for a Reed.
Have you moved on since then? What do you do these days?
No, I'm not telling you. Oh, well, I'm in a lighthouse. I'm in a lighthouse, basically, looking after it.
You're a lighthouse keeper. All right. Okay, so...
Is this going to be a new feature, James, that we each have to spring an unexpected online review from one of the others?
Oh, I don't know.
Have you done many?
I think I've done one, but I can't remember what it was for. But I have a pseudonym, so it's all my reviews are under my pseudonym.
Yeah, but I know what that pseudonym is, so I can still dig it out.
Van Dubla.
Don't tell people my pseudonym. That's the point of the pseudonym. It's secret.
All right, sorry.
Jesus, I'm going to have to change all my artistic ventures now. Right,
Put
anyway.
Alan Smithy on.
So did you guys listen to the review from the Nine Lives guys? Grace and Perry Productions?
Yeah.
So
And
that,
I was astounded the fact that you didn't actually say, look, Grayson, dude, your name is literally one little curve away from Grayson Perry, who is, you know, a humanity, a treasure of humanity, as it were.
Yeah,
but they were really great, really positive guys that are just doing it. You know, they're Americans. That always kind of has a certain motivation when you hear the twang.
There's always an upbeat, positive. I guess obviously they're promoting their own work, but that side, it's good.
In my book of how to interview people for podcasts, it does say on the first page, try not to offend the people you're interviewing.
You teetered with that, though. I like it. It was edgy.
Yeah, but that's the point, right? You can't just blow smoke.
Anyway, they've been in touch. They're nice guys. It was really nice chatting to them. But they wanted to let us know about their Nine Lives Scary Story contest. This was 7 weeks ago, so I hope it's still going. But they wanted to say that if anyone has a scary story that they'd like to tell us about or reenact or make one up, that's 1 minute 30 to 2.5 minutes long, then just send it over to them. The winner gets announced on Halloween. They get $100. Oh, wow, I'm definitely entering. A special edition Nine Lives t-shirt. So you can find them on Facebook. Nine Lives, started with a 9, number 9, and then irony. Scary Story Contest, or GraceandBerryProductions.com. Just search for Nine Lives, you'll find them. So, yeah, thanks. It was good talking to those guys.
Mm-hmm.
They also gave you a thank you on Instagram, James.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. At their Nine Lives film, again, instead of the first N, it's a 9.
Yeah.
Thank you, James, at Movie Lighthouse UK for the amazing interview.
Hey,
all right.
The amazing interview.
Right, so because it's our birthday, I've got a little treat. I have rattled together a little quiz. It's only 5 questions, okay? So it's not going to take very long.
Thank God for that.
But it has...
we love a quiz, but every now and then it's like, what the... Go on.
It's got a birthday
Particularly your ones.
Yeah, especially my ones.
Jesus Christ, I've still got croup.
It's got a birthday theme, so if you know the answer, all you got to do is shout out your name. If you shout out the answer, you don't get to answer. That's the rule. All right,
Laurie.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, Laurie. It's a very simple rule. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Question 1: how old was Damien Thorne when his nanny gave him an extra special gift by hanging herself in front of him?
Wyndham.
Yes.
He was 4.
Incorrect.
Oh, Laurie.
Yes.
He was 5.
It was 5.
Oh,
Laurie. So close, win.
It was like 1 out.
Question number 2. What is the name of the film where the girl is forced to live the day she was murdered over and over again?
Oh, yeah. That's quite a recent one, isn't it?
Yep.
Can't remember.
Wyndham.
Yes.
Not this again.
That would be a good name for it. No? Laurie?
I can't remember it.
It's
like a good day to die or something. I can't remember.
Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day, yeah.
Yeah, which is a surprisingly good film, I thought. Question 3. Which actress shares her 43rd birthday with the movie Lighthouse? Clue: she is somebody Jim Carrey can't wait to forget.
So that's... Jesus. How could I forget? Kate Winslet?
I can't give
Wyndham.
Laurie.
Wyndham.
Kate Winslet.
It's a right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the film is obviously Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Spotless Mind, which is good. It's good fun, isn't it? I haven't seen it. I only ever saw it once a long, long time ago, but I remember enjoying it. A lot of stuff in it.
Laurie. Question number 4. In which film does Michael Douglas receive a most unusual birthday present?
Wyndham.
Yes.
The Game.
Is the right answer.
There you go.
Yeah.
So at best, Laurie, you could draw. At worst, you will lose. Question number 5. Which film celebrates the birthday and the death day of the title character?
Ooh.
I'll give you a clue. We've only just fucking...
Wyndham.
Yes.
All That Jazz.
No.
Ah, ball bags. I was hoping that last bit was his birthday as well. I thought you'd been super sneaky.
I'm afraid not. Laurie, got an idea?
I don't know.
It is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, of course.
Rocky.
Yes.
Rocky.
Damn it.
There we go.
Oh.
All right.
I win.
There we go. Well done, Wyndham. You are a win.
Finally. I only ever win. I only ever really get points when Laurie forgets to say his name.
Kind of, but...
I think you did very well there. You've come on leaps and bounds over 3 years, Wyndham.
Yeah, because you don't play by the rules, Laurie. You
Thanks, mate.
Okay. All right. So, anyone got any news?
How's it going?
I do, a little bit.
Oh, great.
Just very fleetingly. So there is a new... Actually, probably more for the other podcast, but there is a new series coming out based on John Wyndham's Midwich Cuckoos.
Oh, you're such a name dropper. Is it because...
Well, you know. Yeah, exactly that. But yeah, so... Great. Midwich Cuckoos, really, really, really good book, really creepy. It has been made into a film called Village of the Damned, which was directed by...
I want to say...
Claudia Schiffer.
No, JC.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, one of his lesser-known works. No, John Carpenter.
Oh, wow.
And it's been... But the new series, it's a mix
between... Hold on a minute.
Go on.
Right, there's 2 films.
Right.
The original wasn't directed by Jim Carpenter, I don't think.
Who's Jim Carpenter?
Oh, sorry, who did you say?
Is that John's brother?
I always get that.
Or is it Jim the Carpenter? Which is what we don't remember.
Who did the original of Village of the Village of the Damned?
I don't know.
Let me.
Anyway, it's a British director.
Yeah,
so we're talking about the kids, aren't we? Where people have been impregnated by aliens.
Yeah, and they know stuff they shouldn't. It's being written by David Farr, who wrote Hannah and The Night Manager, and it's I think it's HBO and Sky collaboration, but that will be coming soon.
Are we not going to mention that, Eric, then?
Yeah, go on.
We already have the last flipping episode. I
don't remember.
Wasn't
I thought she died
last episode.
Yes, she was, because I was talking about Eartha Kitt, and I was talking about all the Catwomen that I fancied, and she was like my top bill.
I have no recollection of this.
I have no recollection of that.
You don't have any recollection. You've been very busy, and
we both have, we? You've been very busy. You're the one moving house. Do you think
I'm always busy.
You're the one that's at fault here, Laurie, for a change.
Anyway, make time, edit.
I'm definitely leaving this bit in.
No, you're not.
I can't imagine I wouldn't have contributed my favourite Catwoman if we'd had that conversation.
Yeah, for frick's sake, I bet my balls on it.
Well, we can work it out very easily because I can work out when she died, and we can work out when we published the last.
Covered it. We talked about Catwoman.
I can tell you she died on the 10th of September.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 days before we recorded.
Hold on a minute. And we released our dog. We released yours on the 6th of September.
What?
So unless you're slightly psychic, Laurie, you're full of shit.
Edit it. Let's talk about Diana Rigg.
Well,
Oh, now you want to talk about Diana Rigg, or is it Eartha Kitt you want to get onto?
What?
well, look, she was brilliant. I saw her
Yeah.
at the National 20 years ago.
Did you?
Playing Mother Courage and Mother Courage, which I found intensely boring at the time, I have to say. It's a Brecht play that just went on and on and on. But
She was brilliant, wasn't she?
yeah,
I'm just looking at her IMDb.
she was in Game of Thrones,
kind
wasn't she? Which she was,
Yeah.
which was superb at. In a great
Yeah.
episode of Doctor Who. I can't remember what the name of it was called now. But
71 acting credits she's been given on IMDb,
71.
going all the way back to 1959.
Wow, and she was
Wow.
a Bond girl, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she was in the
remember what one she
Avengers.
was in.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
She was in on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
There we go.
There you are. Great one, actually.
Right.
I really like that one.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
she will be missed.
She will be.
Anyone else got any news?
I bumped into something quite cute. You know Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Yes.
That 1982 classic. So I think there's the state of California, for some reason or other, it seems a bit bizarre, but they pulled all these kind of like high celebs together to do an online reading of it. And I just find it very cute because you basically on there, you've got Sean Penn, Ray Liotta, Shayla Booth, Julia Roberts, Morgan Freeman as the narrator, Matthew McConaughey, and then Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt together. And they're playing kind of like the love couple in the film. And it's just like this, really great, you look in, they're all online. They're all just sat there with their very high quality cameras. And they're just doing this read through. It's really great fun. That's
obviously what celebrities do when they start to get starved of attention.
Yeah. But it's a bit.
Guys, we've got to do something. What can we do? What can we do? We've got to be relevant.
Shayla Booth is off his mind. He's properly getting stoned because he's playing this stoner, and he's properly there, like doobing it up and acting like a massive bell. But it's just interesting. It's cute.
Who is
Shayla Buff.
Yeah, that's a big
Shayla Booth thing. Almost was the new inception of Indiana Jones, but they realised that's a bad idea.
They're making another one of those, aren't they? I mean, it's
great. Which is great. No, I love that because Indiana Jones is not a superhero; he's just a man, isn't he? So if you're interested in that character,
frankly, his knees were going in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So.
Hell, they were. But that's what would happen to Indy,
Yeah, but he can't swashbuckle with dodgy knees, can he?
Exactly. So, but you can have good writing. There's been many a high adventure with an old dickery man in it.
Oh, so the film's going to be him sitting down writing his memoirs.
Sounds great.
I love the time the Nazi's face melted. Right. It's the London Film Festival. Any of you guys going?
No.
No.
Well, I am because it's all online.
Oh, check you out.
But I've got myself a couple of tickets.
Oh, great.
So I'll bring those to the table next time. But it looks quite good. And it's great that it's online. Because
we couldn't get any of the tickets we wanted last year, could we?
No, we were quite...
it got nailed.
Well, we were slow.
I seem to remember someone delayed that process until all the tickets had gone. Not you, Win.
I didn't think it was me.
Let's not
was it Laurie?
It might have been. I can't remember.
Okay.
It was one of us. It wasn't me. I'm gonna watch a film called The Intruder, which is a bit of a horror film, and Love Story, which is some strange cult film. So who knows?
Mm.
I was a bit disappointed though, because last year I had the brochure appeared through my door, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
I had to search for it online this time, which I found a bit. So if you're listening, BFI, get your act together for next year. So thank you. All right, any other news?
None from me.
Well, I've been getting my blue tack and sellotape out and my crayons, and I've been trying to work on the Halloween special, which is poised.
Yeah, you're running the show next month.
It's coming any minute, isn't it? And I put it out to the many, many listeners that we have. If there are any sort of recommendations they've got for us, we have received quite a number actually. A lot of them are kind of the usuals, obviously Halloween 3, But then a couple of more sort of different ones. There was actually The Woman in Black.
Again, so we can keep it as a surprise, and then we can tell us what, because we're not going to be picking today. You're going to be telling us what we're watching for Halloween.
Oh, is it really? In secret. So in the Halloween special,
secret, or we won't know what the films are.
It'll just be at the end.
Yeah, like we usually do.
Oh, okay, then.
Okay.
Yeah. But you've still got time, listeners. Write in, let us know.
No, they haven't got time. How can they have time?
I'm sending it out to them sort of telepathically, I suppose.
Something seriously going wrong with your time coordinator.
I'm in many places.
You're either in the future or...
Yeah, your flux capacitor has gone wrong.
All right, so new feature, the trailer trawler.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
The trailer trawler.
Yeah.
Woo!
It's the boat that brings you flashes of the future.
Ah. Like an unwantedly landed porpoise.
So I just wanted to talk a little bit, now the films are coming back into the cinemas, a few trailers that we may have seen. Have you seen the trailer for Dune?
No.
Yeah.
So this is a new series which Laurie was talking about last month, which she probably doesn't remember. What do you think, Laurie? Because I can't get past it. Again, it's like what's that film with the people who aren't really people? Blade Runner. Can't get past the first 10 minutes without falling asleep. Same thing happens with Dune. I really like the bit with the big glass alien. And then I'm asleep.
Yeah. So you're talking about David Lynch's one, right?
Yes.
I said that's just a beautiful film. Obviously, David Lynch disowned it because that was really his first experience, just coming out of making obviously Eraserhead, then Elephant Man, and then he was really the hot ticket to pick up this huge film called Dune that have been trying desperately to make for years and years and years. And actually, that was first given to Jodorowsky, the guy that did El Topo and The Holy Mountain. And Jodorowsky was pretty much right there. I think they even started filming. They had Salvador Dali as the emperor dude. They had like really, really big names, and they spent millions on it, but it all just fell to pieces. So then they gave it to David Lynch. And I think, albeit, you know, he's disowned it simply because the producers are all over his ass constantly. But it's kind of said that he made kind of around about a 3.5 hour long film. And probably did it a hell of a lot of justice, but they had to cut it to pieces. So that's why I disowned it. But I still love it. I think the look of it is gorgeous. The premise of it is wonderful. You know, there's this special commodity in this universe, which is spice, which allows that wormy dude that you like to basically fold space. So people can travel through space really super easily. And that's this really, really key commodity. And there's this kind of like suppressed species, the Fremen, that live on Dune, which is really rich of that spice.
We don't need the whole fucking story.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, what do you think of the trailer?
Just asking you about the new trailer. What do you think of the new trailer?
I personally was very surprised how similar it kind of feels to David Lynch's version. I think the design of it is not a patch on David Lynch's version, but it seems it literally does seem like a remake. They put it in some water with a couple of squeezes of bleach.
It's a remake. It doesn't seem. It is definitely.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's not even a kind of in any way. Seemingly, it seems more a bleached version, a more shallower husk. And with this story, this line, there's so many books, and the majority of them are quite shit. But some of them, apparently, I will admit, I haven't read them all, but some of them are really, really great. I mean, Tarantum Rave, the Sylvester Winkler, yeah, he's a big fan, and he said that there's some really, really good stories, and it's a shame that they just keep telling, you know, Paul Atreides' story.
All right. So, the trailer?
Yeah. What do you think of the trailer?
Not a lot, really, just bleached.
Right. And the other one I've got is the trailer for The Batman. It's amazing how they can keep just tweaking that title just enough to keep things fresh.
So fresh.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, well, it's now clear that the villain of the piece is the Riddler, which is quite nice because at least there's a chance that it won't be so grounded in reality that they actually forget that he is a comic book hero, as opposed to just someone who lives in a really shit city. Laurie?
I just realised we're
that?
talking about Batman again, aren't we?
Yeah. We did mention that last time. Have you seen the trailer?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I've
Right,
seen
that's
it.
a
Listen,
wonderful
I am
new picture.
definitely living in parallel universe
Can't
because
wait
we
for that
talked
next
about this in the
month.
last episode.
Well, yeah, but the trailer is a different trailer, actually.
Oh, right. Oh, I see.
And it didn't feature...
But I noticed, there's like some gangy dudes and it's like, who are you? And this time it's not, I'm Batman. It's like, I'm vengeance. And then he like proper kicks his ass. But those gangy dudes, they were dressed up like Joker faces. And the end of, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, the gang that was all surrounding him at the end of the film whilst he's standing on the car, they've got that kind of like makeup on. And it's just, I think it would just be so wonderful if they can kind of link Joaquin's Joker to faces Batman. But anyway, we'll see.
They can. There is no way they would not do that after the success of the Joker. If they, which I'm sure because I know the rights to him, and they'll want to have it in the same universe as that.
Yeah, I don't think Joaquin would be up. Well, maybe he is. I don't know.
Not. It's the Riddler.
How playful he is.
Doesn't
no, not as the Riddler. But I'm just saying, in the trailer, there's a Zephyr of the Joker in there.
I should imagine. Because also, if you think about the age difference in the film The Joker of Bruce Wayne and the Joker,
yes,
probably the same. Well, I'll be able to age him up, won't I? But we've got quite a young Batman, haven't we?
Yes.
So it would make sense. So I imagine either number 2 or number 3 will feature Joaquin's Joker, almost definitely. Cool. I don't think we're going to get Jared Leto back, unfortunately. All right. In the beam. Wyndham, have you got a film that you'd like to recommend for our birthday show?
I do. It is 21 Bridges. So this is one of Chadwick Boseman's films. So obviously we mentioned his untimely death last time. It's an Amazon Prime film. It doesn't necessarily sit within our typical genres, but such are the films we've been watching recently. They seem to be blurring a bit. But 21 Bridges, it's a kind of an action thriller cop drama, but it's good.
Is it based in New York? Is it New York the one with?
Yes. Yeah. So it's just a popcorn movie. It's kind of like hour and 3/4 popcorn movie, but it's good.
And how have you been getting along? Did you watch quite a few of his back catalogue? I know you said you...
No.
Oh, okay. Well, one's all right.
Yeah.
Good start. Laurie, how about you?
I feel ashamed. I've sort of... Yeah, I don't...
About time.
No.
Well,
Give me a minute.
Where have you gone? You sound like you're right in the basement of the Lighthouse, Laurie.
Well, yeah, I thought you wouldn't notice. I'm
in the boiler room.
See if I've got anything in my beam. Over to you, James.
All right. Well, I'm going to mention a film that's been out for a while, I think. Zodiac, which is a film based on the serial killer, the Zodiac killer, that was around in the 70s and 80s. And I knew a little bit because I've read some of the book. Directed by David Fincher. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal, Mark Ruffalo, Robert Downey Jr. Great cast. Slightly interesting film. Without kind of giving it away, obviously it's based on a true story, but as the Zodiac killer was never actually found and brought to justice, that they kind of make the assumption, this isn't giving it away because you wouldn't know who he was, but this is making the assumption that this person definitely did do it, which is quite of a leap. And I think they probably only did that because this person, I don't think, has any relatives.
Right.
And the evidence does suggest that, but you know, it ends with this case.
It's not the same as a conviction, is it?
Yeah. So there we go. Laurie, did you come up with anything?
Great film, Zodiac, and I'm surprised. Was that the first time you saw it?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Good film. Oh damn it. I'm.
All right, you don't have to do one.
Oh, but there's so many amazing.
I know.
Trapeze with Burt Lancaster and.
When did you watch it?
Yeah.
When did you watch it?
About a long time ago.
You're lying.
No, I'm not. It was a long time
You can't.
ago.
You're incapable of lying. All right, tell us about Trapeze then.
Just great little love story and a little bit of trapeze work going on. Bit of sort of brotherly love, but then a little bit of what's it called? Competitiveness. It's just a nice film. There you go, Trapeze. Done.
Okay, great. All right, so let's go the opposite direction and head to On the Rocks.
Love on the rocks ain't no surprise.
So this is a film that we were not recommending you to waste an hour and a half with. Wyndham, go on, kick us off again.
Enola Holmes, or Holmes, as you would say.
Oh no, is it like a female Sherlock Holmes?
It's Sherlock and Mycroft's younger sister, played by Billy Bobby Brown.
Oh,
of
God.
Stranger Things.
Yeah,
it's not her fault. It's she's good, but it's just like this.
Why? Why just do something different?
Yeah, and it's got.
Is she like the granddaughter of Sherlock Holmes or something?
No, she's his younger sister.
And so it's set in Victorian.
It's set in Victorian times. Mycroft and Holmes have gone to London, and she's sort of like 15 years younger than them.
Right.
And her mother is played by Helena Bonham Carter. Doesn't send her to school.
Her.
Yeah, teaches her all the kind of useful stuff that she doesn't realise what she's learning. But her mother is an anarchist, essentially. So she disappears on Enola's, 11th, 12th birthday.
Okay.
And then the brothers come back and she runs away and they try and track her down. And it's.
Well, I'm going to mention The Good Liar, which is a film directed by Bill Condon, I think. Yeah, it is. Starring Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen. And it starts pretty well, actually. It's Helen Mirren is like going on like a dating site, like internet dating or whatever, and she meets up with Ian McKellen, who is basically a con artist. And for the first like half an hour, 40 minutes, you're thinking this is really quite interesting. Where's it going? Where's it going? Where's it going? And then when it gets to where it's going, it's so fucking stupid. It's like, no. Don't want to spoil it, but it just pushes the realms of credulity. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Makes me incredulous. I don't think that's the word.
Incredulous.
That's the one. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And by the end, you're thinking this is so fucking stupid. And also, it's a really bad casting decision to get Ian McKellen, and the only reason is that he's Ian McKellen because they just don't. Why would Helen Mirren go out with Ian McKellen? Makes no sense. But that's not the worst.
Love can transcend any boundary, James.
Okay, your go, Laurie.
Well, I've got one. Unfortunately, Knives Out. Probably just because I suppose the potential of it could have been great. It's like, wonderful, a little whodunit, and it's just like, oh, damn it. Starts off quite good, and it's kind of a bit of a showcase for Ana de Armas. She's wonderful, gorgeous. We saw her in Blade Runner 2049. She's great, a little showcase for her. But besides that, it just really didn't. I just didn't.
It's a really punchy cast as well, isn't it? And you're right,
it looks really great, shot really great, but just did not deliver for me at all, really, unfortunately. So there we are, Knives Out.
I think Daniel Craig is another one of those actors whose American accent is never convincing. There's always something a bit, what?
Yeah, was that American?
Stop it.
Ewan McGregor, he's another one, isn't
he? Yeah, exactly.
And Brad Pitt.
No, come on, no. Braddy,
American
he's
accent's all right.
come into his own as a Braddy.
That's what I meant. It was a joke, Laurie. It was a joke.
Oh, are you starting to joke now? You trying that out?
Trying to keep this light because it's our birthday show.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go with the feature then. We are going all the way back to 1967.
Lighthouse.
Yeah. All right, so just briefly talking about the ones that got away. Who's That Knocking at My Door was the first Scorsese film, wasn't it? And it's black and white, and it's got, Harvey Keitel and it's some.
That's right, yeah.
And it's a good film. It's it's very clear to see where he's going with his career by watching this. It's like, it's signposted about for, Goodfellas Casino, all that kind of stuff, which is good. But I'm kind of glad we didn't pick it, to be honest. So there we go. And Vulture. If we know anything about Vulture, we'll do. No, but
no idea. It was about a dude who tried to scientifically change himself and turned into part man, part vulture.
Vulture.
I don't know why we didn't pick that one.
I am good at what
I know.
All right, so let me give you a bit of information about 1967. Okay, so in the news, 3 astronauts die in the Apollo 1 tragedy.
That's a good opener.
I didn't make the news in 1967, am I? There's
You'll make the news one day, babe.
the anti-war effort and foot and mouth. Sorry, my door's going. I think I've got delivery.
Oh. And also, 1967 was the Detroit race riots. So the backdrop in the US was pretty shaky.
You need to mention that when he gets back.
Yeah. He's likely to edit this bit out, isn't he? Oh, what's that, James?
It's here. It's finally here. it's a notepad.
Oh.
Right. Okay, so...
I was just saying, James, you missed the point. Also, backdrop to both of these films being released were the Detroit race riots happened in 67 as well. So the US was essentially on fire to some degree, greater or lesser degree.
Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah, well, I was going to talk about, the anti-war effort was in full swing as well, anti-Vietnam War. And in this country, we had foot and mouth everywhere. And I know that my grandfather's herd of cattle all had to be killed.
Mm.
So, there we go. Sad times. All right, in popular culture, it was the summer of love. Just before it all turned to shit.
For the winter of hate.
Yeah. And on TV, the Forsyth Saga, which I've never seen, but apparently it was very popular. The News at 10 premiered.
Mm.
So, and it was the first time that the test card was shown. Everyone remember the test
card?
Right? That little girl with the blonde
black and white with the clown and a chalkboard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very well.
It's for a horror film, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah,
it is. But it's what a beautiful thing. It's just very odd, isn't it? When you think about it, you've got this kind of sort of Mondrian background.
Because in those days, the vertical hold and all that kind of shit, you had to kind of tune things in, didn't you, to get it right? So you
so all the colours will represent if you get the colour just right and all that.
Yeah. And also, it filled masses and masses of airtime. I don't know if you remember, even when we were kids, sometimes the test card would be on for like 10, 15 minutes before they stuck on a cartoon. And then they're in the BBC going, someone get a fucking cartoon. Find a damn...
That's a great point, though, isn't it? The amount of airtime that test card, that girl and that clown have had. That's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah. So there we go. In music, the top single of the year was... Anyone got any ideas?
Is it the Beatles?
No, but it's that famous one that knocked the Beatles off, wasn't it? It was Release Me by Engelbert Humperdinck.
Humperdingle.
Did you just call him Analbert?
Engelbert.
Oh, sorry.
Anklebert.
And the top album, anyone want to guess?
Wonderwall
Sergeant
by Oasis.
Pepper's.
It was Sergeant Pepper, yeah. Celebrity deaths, we had Brad Epstein. Epstein. The Beatles manager. Che Guevara died.
Steve.
Did he?
Yeah, and Vivian Lee.
Really?
And the top 5 grossing films were The Graduate, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Bonnie and Clyde, The Dirty Dozen, and for some reason, Valley of the Dolls, which we'll get onto in a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we'll kick off with our first film, which is going to be Quatermass and the Pit,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
which has the US title 5 Million Years to Earth. Which kind of gives it away a bit, really.
Fucking hell.
Uh,
I don't understand. What's wrong with Quatermass and the Pit?
yeah. It's probably...
Why do they have to
I
change the
suppose-
title?
Probably sound...
They
Culturally, that wouldn't...
I imagine it sounded communist. You know.
maybe that's that, probably. But they didn't know who kind of Quatermass was, and I think there was a character called
Quatermass.
Quatermass. Yeah. But they had Quatermain, didn't they, as well out there? And I don't know.
Alan Quatermain.
Yeah, I don't know if he was
from
already
League
in
of
there.
Gentlemen? Extraordinary Gentlemen. Alan Quatermain.
He is part of the
Imagine
Extraordinary
they
Gentleman, yeah.
People, didn't they?
But maybe they sort of argued they don't know who he... Anyway, I don't know the reason behind it.
All right, well, let me give you some facts and then we'll play a clip. It was obviously released in 1967. The director was Roy Ward Baker, whose probably highest peak was A Night to Remember, which was the film about Titanic sinking, which is a brilliant film, and in my opinion, much better than Cameron's effort. The screenplay was by Nigel Neal, who also wrote The Stone Tape. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
Yeah, Stone Tape is fantastic. It's
Apparently, he
absolutely
wrote
fantastic.
about a shitload. It said in Wikipedia that he's one of the most influential writers of the 20th century for TV.
Do you want to guess what else he did?
To who?
Yeah, the sex something or others.
He probably definitely did a bit of work with Doctor Who. I would have thought. I would have been surprised if he didn't. But Halloween 3.
I don't think
he was...
he did. You know, I don't
No?
certainly don't recognise his. No. But go on.
Okay.
Halloween 3.
Yeah, I think I could be completely wrong because I get most of my information from them penguins, and you know that, and they do talk a lot of shit. But according to them,
I didn't realise that we were in the Antarctic in this fucking lighthouse. No wonder it's so cold.
All sorts of shit's turning up. I tell you, it's like its own little thing. But anyway, apparently, yeah, I think I'll go off and I'll double check it.
He did. I'm just looking at it now. He did
So
Halloween 3.
Halloween 3, Yeah.
He also wrote the screenplay to your Christmas movie.
What's that?
Christmas movie.
Laurie's Christmas
Woman in
movie.
Black.
Yeah.
Oh,
Holy fuck! I love this guy, Nigel Neal.
I did say
Holy
Nigel
shit! So basically, I just want to quickly say, I know we'll get into Quatermass and the Pit, but there's this big bit where they've got like a TV
Quatermass.
broadcast. Quatermass, sorry. Quatermass and the Pit. There's a TV broadcast near the end where kind of people get sort of possessed in a way, and that's the theme very much in Halloween 3, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Right. So
Nigel
can I finish
Neal.
this bit, please? Right. So the budget is £275,000, and it made at the box office 881,000. So that was a success.
Yeah.
Right. So it had. So this was already a sequel or a remake, I should say. So it was a sequel to the Quatermass experiment. And we had Quatermass 2, but it was also there was also a TV series. And when I watched this, I thought I've seen this before, but I haven't. And then I realised that I'd seen a bit of the TV series.
And they're all the same.
On the BBC, 1958. It was kind of first told. Yeah.
It was our notable actors James Donald as Dr. Roning, Andrew Keir as Professor Bernard Quatermass, Barbara Shelley as Barbara Judd, Julian Glover as Colonel Breen. So,
do you think they allowed Barbara Shelley to keep her first name because they didn't think she could remember another name?
No.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure that wasn't the reason.
I hope it was. All right, let's have a clip.
Who are they running from? What have they seen? Whom do they fear? There are 5 million answers to these questions, and every one of them is a shocker. Terror, 5 million years old, spills into our time to make two worlds collide.
All right, so So, like I said, it's based on the TV serial Quatermass in the Pit. Anyone got any connections to the film? Anyone seen it before?
I have. I saw it before. So this was. Yeah, I know. This is my suggestion. No, I know. So I first saw this when I was about 8, and my dad had recorded it off the TV onto VHS, and Mum and Dad would leave to go to work about 10, 15 minutes before I had to leave to go to school. And so I watched it in 10-minute installments first thing in the morning before I went to school. Back when I was 8.
Why didn't you just
watch the whole
remember thing? Oh, because they wouldn't let you watch it.
They wouldn't let me watch it. I was only 8. So I snuck it in 9 days.
Well, this is, like I said, the first time I've seen this version. How about you, Laurie?
I saw it quite a while ago, and I remember really enjoying it. But then definitely now, this time in watching it, it's much more richer, and I enjoyed it far more. But yeah, I already knew I liked it, and that was, I saw it 4 or 5 years ago. Okay,
so connections to the film, most famously for me, is that this kind of model of Quatermass and the scientists was what they basically modelled John Pertwee's Doctor on in Doctor Who.
Right.
And there's loads of similarities, certainly to it. There's a story called The Demons, and it's set at Devil's End as opposed to Hobbs End. And he's basically, John Pertwee plays Quatermass in it's very earthbound. They've got the army, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So, what do we think? Laurie, kick us off.
I think it actually. Bear 1 minute.
Are you doing a 1 minute synopsis, Laurie?
Oh yeah, sorry. Laurie, give us a synopsis.
Okay.
Let me get my timer on it. Hold on. Hold on. Go.
Right. Okay. So we're in London, and there's an underground, and some work's being done on the underground. I think they're extending the central line, something or t'other. And then a dude finds a skull. He's like, "Oh, look at the dashes on that!" And quite quickly they start finding other shit, like a big kind of weird thing, looks like a bomb. It's got to be a bomb. So they call the army in, and then they realize this ain't a bomb. And then Quatermass turns up. Quatermass turns up. It's like, no, I don't think this is. And the scientists are like, it definitely isn't, because there's like other skulls that are kind of really weird. And this is 5 million years ago, this stuff was here. So this is kind of like early origins of humanity stuff. Super important.
10 seconds.
And then it grows and grows and grows. And we find out all these mysterious hauntings and stuff of this place is related to what this stuff they found in the ground
and
is.
That's a minute.
Really good. Well, that's not bad at all, really. Well done. So, Wyndham, you obviously like it.
I do, yeah. Well, I thought I remembered more of it than I did, because I hadn't seen it for 36 years. It's just the bit I now, as I was watching it, the bit that really jumped out was the bit where he's died. So essentially, these are Martians that have landed on the planet 5 million years ago. And when he's dissecting it, the eyeball, the covering of the eyeball with the tweezers, that's the thing. That's the image that had stuck in my mind from when I was 8. But it's just like dramatic, and people charging around on these boards underground, running around up to this amazing spaceship thing. And Yeah, it's good. It's dramatic. It's properly 1960s British theatre actors kind of going into screen.
It's
I don't know
really
where they were,
interesting you
but
say
that's the
about
feeling
that.
they give.
What about you,
It's
Laurie?
interesting. No, I was just going to say, just to Wyndham's point about the eyeball, it really struck me, that scene. It lingers on it, and the way they've designed it, obviously, you know, the eye and the gunk that's over the top of it, and the way he's pulling it off. I was like, this is, as a kid, because this film is very held by a certain generation, saying this is, you know, a master, a real classic, terrifying kind of stuff. And I think back in the day, I get it, and particularly that scene where he's pulling the gunk out of the eyeball. I'm like, ooh, blimey, they really linger on that. It's really interesting scene. So yeah, that's cool that was a bit that touched you. What am I talking about? What are we talking about? What do I think about it?
Do you like it?
I love it. So what you got here, you got basically a folk horror kind of real hardcore classic, but you wouldn't think it as normal kind of folk horror, because normally that's quite set in rural towns and all this kind of stuff, more in the woods kind of stuff. However, that's exactly what this really is, because obviously 5 million years ago, London wasn't London. It was woods and all that stuff. And that's how it all...
Hold on a minute.
Permeated.
You are kidding me. What?
But this haunting is permeated through generations and generations. So throughout the film, you go, you know, obviously you've got the housing estate that's directly opposite. It's been haunted for years and years and years. People have lived there and they just can't live there anymore. I think the policeman actually who was talking about that, I think he's the kid, because he goes into that building sweating his ass off. But, you know, you've got that. And then you go even further back, right the way back where they go to Westminster Abbey, and they're looking like the Doomsday Book. And they're saying this place has always had this hex, the devil, Hobb's End, obviously Hob being another name of the devil. So this is real old kind of folklore horror, but it's permeated right the way through, where it actually turns out to be science fiction. You know, the silhouette of the devil, the two horns, it's a cricket.
It's a grasshopper.
It's a grasshopper.
This is an important point, I think, because it's very rare that you see a film that mixes science fiction and magic. And again, that was basically The Demons. So this is The Demons is a big rip-off of this in many ways. But yeah, to have both of those things at the same time is a rare thing. And I think they fused it together brilliantly, really.
They did, didn't they? They did. And like a film that we know and love, Life Force. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life
With
Force,
space
they're
vampires.
trying to do the vampire and the alien and
We didn't
the
review
whole
that,
thing.
did we? We haven't reviewed it, but we've all seen.
We kind of did. We did.
Yeah.
But it does deserve definitely its own kind of lump. But Life Force definitely hugely influenced by this. But the Life Force just doesn't work. It's not, going back to Nigel Neal, he has beautifully put this together. And that what struck me quite quickly at the beginning when I'm watching it this time. It's so, every scene moves on. It all links in. It's really well put together, this. Whereas like Life Force, like I say, it's just a complete freaking mess. Trying to do the same thing.
The other thing which makes it, I think, surprisingly work is that it's still kind of retains the 6-part episode structure of the TV series. So it's not just restricted to like the 3-act, really. It moves along and it's very different, isn't it? So, you know, the stuff that happens at the start with where they find the spaceship and all that kind of stuff is a world away, really, from when everybody's possessed by the locusts or whatever they are.
And then there's exactly, and it moves through the kind of the military episode, and then the check out our scientific mind reader that we've invented.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, he calls
love
it.
it.
No. He calls up his mate and he goes, "I want you to bring something to London. The special signal stuff." The special signal stuff.
And the other thing it does, which was again kind of a first, more or less, was it was a franchise, and these were virtually unheard of in the 60s. I can only really find 2 other franchises that were going on around the same time. Anyone got an idea what they could have been?
The Avengers?
No, because that wasn't a film.
Oh.
So James Bond.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And the Pink Panther. And that's it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I have to say, I do absolutely love the scientific method in this. You can tell that Nigel Neal may write a great script, but he's not really in the detail of the science. That they literally look at a skull and go, 5 million years old. Yeah, definitely 5 million years old. And then when you've got Quatermass trying to dissect the eye.
Yeah.
Quatermass is a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
It's like, what the... Yeah, come on in, have a go, pull a leg off, take it over there, tell us what you find. Don't worry about it, it's fine.
A bit of everything.
It'll all stand up to peer review in the end, don't you worry.
And he's incredibly patronising. There's a bit where... who is it? There's a guy reading... Oh, that's it. They get that guy in, don't they, who's reading the history book, telling some kind of important exposition. And he just... cuts him off halfway through.
Yeah, I'm off now.
I'm going now.
Yeah, he could have waited. He had one more sentence.
Miss Judd will listen to the shit you're spouting. I don't have time.
What do we think? Go on.
No, go for it.
Oh, go on.
I was just going to say, I really like the dramatic... I know you're going to cover these, so I'm jumping around. Apologies. I really like the dramatic music to start. The credits, they're short, straight to the point, energised. It's good.
Oh, well, I put nothing special. I like the sound effect.
The music's good on this. The music is good.
Laurie?
Huh?
What do you think of the music?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I've forgotten the name of the guy, actually. I was supposed to have made a note of it, who did the music. But yeah, he was very much instructed. The music really needs to kind of really, really add to the story or to the emotional tension and just add those other dimensions. Where I know it sounds kind of straightforward, where you should imagine every film musician would be tasked with that mission. But they were very specific about this, and I think he did it very well.
Cool. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the performances. So I was a little disappointed with the portrayal of Quatermass. I thought he was a little flat. I don't know. It just, for me, it just didn't really grab. I thought it could have been done a little better, really.
He was a bit of a... I'm just thinking this now. He was a bit of a Quincy. You know, that kind of... just randomly shouting. It's like, what?
It's because it's the dissection of the eye.
That was it. Yeah.
If you think of Quincy,
I quite. Yeah, I didn't remember him. He was different to how I remembered him. Obviously, it's been a long time since I saw it. But yeah, I preferred Dr. Roney.
I did. Yeah.
His excavation acting was excellent.
Yeah.
Real concentration at the face of the clay wall. Good sweating.
Yes, yeah.
Good dashing around in a three-piece suit. Yeah. It was purposeful.
Great suits in this. Obviously, whenever I'm thrust back to the 60s, I'm just constantly looking at the ties and the suits. And on this film, they deliver in abundance. But I'm with you guys. I think Roney was... Yeah, he had that real sort of charm about him. Good teeth as well. Actually, terrible teeth, but I quite liked it.
Good for them. Yeah.
I identify. But Quatermass, just a little bit, didn't quite click, as it were. And I think there's you get the couple of times where they're inside kind of the spaceship or whatever it is, probe, whatever it is, and it sends this vibration. You get these close-ups of everyone's faces wigging out, and Quatermass's face is like he kind of loses all credibility with his faces.
That's a good point, actually. Whereas the others do it all right.
Yeah.
What's his name? The guy Julian Glover, who is in. We were talking about Indiana Jones earlier.
Yeah.
In the one with Sean Connery.
That's it. Yeah. The Last Crusade. Yeah.
The Last Crusade. His eyes rolled up well.
Yeah. Really well.
Yes. Yeah. But good performances, really, I guess. Let's talk about the design and the effects. I thought the ship looked great.
Yeah.
Very convincing, really, since it was 1967.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I put. Remind me about this bit. The melting effect doesn't really work. Oh
No,
that was a shit.
the chamber, the wall across the chamber, it was kind of like a fracturing.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get the image of them looking at the wall kind of cracking and fading away, but that is definitely a very different kind of visual aesthetic to everything else that you're used to in the film.
Yeah.
You know you're looking at a special effect. But once it does crack away, and then you do get to see the little, kind of like...
Laurie, are you at the window of the lighthouse? Because you've got...
I am at the moment, yeah.
You come back inside, please. It's cold because we're in the fucking Antarctic.
I'll get back in a second. But once that wall does crack away, the images of the little baby crickets and that beautiful kind of
on
sort
a
of
honeycomb crystal, yeah.
That geometric honeycomb crystal, which very much reminds me again
to
Live. I think that looks really great, to be honest.
Well, I thought the creatures were a bit embarrassingly bad, really.
Well, yeah. Once you pull them out and get a proper look at them, I mean, like a lot of times they say less is more, and there's a lot of truth to that. But they don't do that with this. They give it in spades, and yeah, it's not the greatest, but good on them.
And I thought, when they're doing the brain scanner and they put it on the TV, it kind of reminded me very much of the Clangers, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is apparently, so thank God that they actually tell you what you're seeing. It's apparently a ritualistic slaughtering.
Yeah, that was...
Of insects. It's not very clear, but they obviously figured it out.
It's a bit Imperial Marchy as well, isn't it? They're all just in these ranks of... And how did they move? Jumping and leaping. He was brilliant. Yeah. Duncan Lamont, who played Staddon, who was the guy they brought in to drill through the chamber before they release all the crickets. When he gets possessed, his skipping and hopping and running out of Hobbs End train station and then running around the place is proper bedknobs and broomsticks.
But this is it. This is it.
It was a time before they started taking horror incredibly seriously. So you still had quite a bit of comedy kind of in bits of this. So that kind of leads me on to talk about the sewer pipe to maybe a couple of plot holes.
I want to just I just want to quickly say, just on that point of where you say he's leaping and skipping, it does look absolutely ridiculous, doesn't it? It's like, what the fuck is that? And he's putting this sort of silly kind of like euphoric kind of face in a weird way. Now that goes back to where we said about the folk horror, so old, kind of stuff.
It's proper Morris man dancing.
Exactly. Yeah. That sort of demon, that possession, and you're like skipping, jumping, like demons. These pouncing demons, and that's linking it back to that. And then obviously we know that they're fucking crickets, and crickets can probably like kick up a good amount of footage on a leap, and that and that all kind of links back, and I love the way that all ties into that sort of folklore-y kind of stuff and makes some weird kind of science fiction sense of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll shut up.
So Paul, they said it could be a sewer pipe when they start the excavations, and the reason they were fixing a pipe. Why didn't they notice the spaceship when they were putting the pipe in the first place?
Well, there wasn't a pipe there.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yes, good point, right?
Yeah.
What's your next point?
Yeah.
Next plot hole?
Honestly, Nigel Neal, he's got this wrapped up.
Hold on. There's a really wooden scene towards the end, I remember, where they're talking about resisting the aliens. And like
in the pub?
Yeah, I think so, but it's outside, I think, because like they say it, and then as an exclamation point, the lamp post falls down. And it's just a little bit creepy. Anything else you want to talk about? It was set in St. Nicholas Church in Chiswick.
Lovely. I'd say quite like a key thing about this. So basically, we learn that they had come down 5 million years ago, whatever it was. It's actually interesting that the Americans called it 5 million years on Earth or whatever, because that's British have got a different million. So they should have called it 500 million. Anyway, but because they've been there...
They've got a different million. I think you're thinking about billion.
Oh, am I? All right, then. Okay. That I've sidetracked myself then anyway. But basically, these guys, these alien dudes have been here for donkey's years. And they've basically been sort of crossbreeding with early man and creating...
Like Forsyth.
Yeah. So they are kind of our ancestors to a certain degree. But you get this point where Quatermass has been possessed, but for whatever reason, Ronnie isn't. And it's basically because some people, it's in their DNA. They've been part of, this evolution, and then some of us haven't. And that's why Ronnie isn't experiencing that possession, apparently.
All right. Memorable scenes. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I put here, love the bit where the lady is going for it. She collapses, and they say something like, "You're all right. Well done."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she they put the visioning technology on her.
It's called the special signal stuff. That's what Quatermass.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and you're right. And they just kind of go, "You're all right. You're all right. Well done." Yeah. Brilliant. I have to say, all through it, the scientific process is astonishingly brilliant. When the immediate jump to 5 million years, and then Quatermass, when he's talking to the military, they say, "Was this really a Martian?" And he goes, "My guess is," and then whatever else he says after that, he's going, "Well, okay." But I also really like the scene when Breen gets possessed, the colonel, and he ends up walking down and standing in front of the ship, just being possessed. And then when you come back to him, it's like he's had a Nazi face melt from Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Very, very similar to the way he goes in The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
He gets super old and kind of sort of melts, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's clear to see why it's hugely influential. Do you think it stands up today?
I think it does. I think
it holds its own.
Very much.
Yeah. I think basically if you've got if you don't read into it and really sort of want to eat it up and appreciate kind of how rich it is, I think you can quite easily look at it and think, actually, it's a bit shit. But it's far, far, far from that. It's just really, really clever writing. And like I say, if you take it as that sort of folk horror bit, it's an absolute work of art. I mean, when you're talking about standout scenes for me, mine would definitely be, once you get that demon head appearing in the sky glowing. I think that looks absolutely awesome. And there's a really cool scene when Barbara she starts going over to the probe, as it were, and she starts levitating and they're grabbing onto her, albeit a lot of the stuff that's flying around next to them is definitely on strings just being waggled, but the way that she kind of levitates looks really, for the tone of this type of film, it looks really quite visceral and terrifying. So those bits.
Okay, memorable lines. I've got Quatermass is "I won't resign if that's what you want. Of course not. We'll get along quite well. Why don't you have dinner with me?"
Yeah.
Any of you guys?
There
was one other I've got here. "It was a secret job like this one. Well, I'm glad you don't talk about them then."
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think maybe you have to have been there, but there's a bit where Quatermass he's been possessed, and when he sort of gets him out of it, and he says, "Come on, we've things to do that maybe nobody else can." And it's okay, yeah, that's cool. Let's do that.
And I have to say that the sci-fi element of this, I think Nige evidently just kind of went, "I don't really know." So when we're talking about that special vision technology, he kind of goes, Roni turns to the man operating it and says, "Set to view visions."
Which is brilliant.
And then right at the very end, when they're hatching their plan about the things that only they can do, he says, "Mass into energy, discharge iron into it," as if, oh yeah, that makes sense, of course. Yeah. Brilliant.
As long as you say it with conviction, that's all you need.
Yeah.
All right, let's score it then. So I'll kick us off. Performances, it gets a 7 from me.
5 from me.
Get 7 from me.
Effects, Wyndham.
7.
Yeah, 7.
6. Plot, Laurie.
Oh, wonderful. Really, really wonderful. 8.
It gets an 8 for me.
7 from me.
Rewatch factor, 5.
3.
Oh, ooh. Yeah, I suppose, 5.
Direction, Win.
5.
6.
7. Cinematography, Laurie.
Some parts of it are really great. Some parts of it aren't. 6.
4.
5.
Sound of Music, 2 from me.
7.
6 from me.
7.
Okay. Originality, Wyndham.
7.
Yeah, 7.
6 from me. Enjoyability, Laurie.
8.
7.
5.
And life-changing, past or present, I've given it a 5 just because it was huge influence on Doctor Who.
I have also given it a 5 because it's the first film I really remember.
Great.
Your highest ever life-changing score, I think, Wyndham.
No, it's not. RoboCop is.
Robocop.
He tend it.
What was yours, Laurie? Sorry.
Mine's actually going to be 7. And again, it's just because it's just such a rich story going right the way back to the beginning of time. And we mentioned about, like, we kind of explored this also again with, like, Cujo, the fact that, you know, back in the olden days, a dog being possessed, we'd be talking about demons and possessions and all that kind of stuff. Whereas the fact is, the fucker got bit on the nose by rabies. So that's kind of the scientific approach. But like this film here does that, but you know, you're with that line all the way through. I think it's just really, really great. So I'm going 7.
Funny, I don't remember the Wicker Dog. I don't know if you do, Wid.
Wicker Dog. Great idea, man. Great idea.
All right, so it gets a total of 57 points from me.
55 from me.
There, mate.
Oh, every time.
Boo, 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 boo.
68.
Oh, perfect timing. 68, giving us a movie Lighthouse rating of a round 60.
60, okay. So that means it puts it in joint 12th place with Possession. Just below V for Vendetta and Above the Beach. That was this year.
Of course it's Above the Beach, but below V for Vendetta.
Yeah,
what were we drinking on that day?
Oh, well, mind you, no. Anyway, and in our big leaderboard, it's at number 46. Oh no! Did I say? Yeah, it's the same as Possession. Yeah, I thought I did something wrong then. Yeah, it's number 46. So it's by no means towards the bottom, but it's just no means towards the top either.
It's middle fair.
All right, so the next film we're going to do is Valley of the Dolls. Again, released in 1967. Director was Mark Robson. He did Peyton Place, which I've never seen. But he was also the assistant editor on Citizen Kane, which I suppose was a big thing. It's written by Helen Deutsch, Dorothy Kingsley, and Harlan Ellison, but that was uncredited for some reason. Music was Dory Previn, John Williams. Budget of $4.69 million US, and it made 50 million worldwide, so it did pretty well.
Wow.
It got an Academy Award for Best Music, a Golden Globe Award for Most Promising Newcomer, which was Sharon Tate, and Grammy Award for Best Original Score. Sequels and spin-offs Beyond the Valley of the Dolls was a 1970 satirical pastiche of the film. And that's it. Notable actors: Barbara Perkins as Ann Wells, Patty Duke, Neely O'Hara, Paul Burke as Lion Burke, Sharon Tate as Jennifer North. Okay, so let's have a clip.
Now, the motion picture that shows what America's all-time #1 bestseller first put into words.
I wasn't much of a man living with you, Neely, but that's over. I'm straightened out now.
With that little whore!
That little whore makes me feel 9 feet tall.
Dolls, the instant turn-on. For instant love. Instant excitement. Ultimate hell.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes.
Right, Laurie,
Yes!
give us a synopsis, please. 1 minute on the clock.
Oh, hold on.
Right, so we've got
You've got a couple of seconds to think and go.
Very good.
Annie. She's engaged to be engaged. Comes from a sleepy town, but she goes uptown to the big city to become a PA to a fat cat
Bellows.
agent who's part of the business, Bellows. And he's a hot ass. He looks after lots of artists within the business of show. And, you know, first day, he sends her off to a particular job that he knows it's going to be a bit of trial by fire kind of thing. And she meets a real hard-ass, old-school Broadway star who rips up the contract that she's supposed to sign and says, tell him to stick it up his ass unless he does da-da-da-da. And then with that, around that show, you kind of meet these three characters. So you've got Annie, first of all, but then you've got the kind of like the up-and-coming star who's Neely, I believe. And then you've got the kind of sort of the body who's kind of Marilyn Monroe, who's Jennifer.
Oh, that was a long minute.
And that's it.
That was a long minute. All right.
I didn't give you anything. So it's kind of the whole soap
Well,
story
to be
of
honest,
that.
this film didn't give me anything really honest. So
It's about the rise and fall of three women
yeah,
associated around showbiz.
I mean, a connection to the film. I mean, it reminded me. I thought it was connected a little bit to all that jazz. You know, looking at the development show business.
I did wonder whether we'd broadened our the category of films now to include musicals.
No. So this film is cult, like with a capital C. I mean, this is on par with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. People go to cinemas, and there's all sorts of other.
Yeah, but I wonder if that's more to do with Sharon Tate and the thing.
No.
No?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's kind of
cult at all. I mean, it's got some really stupid bits in it, like.
Man.
I'd never seen it before, and I was bored.
Really?
I'm being bored and incredulous again. Wyndham, what did you think?
Really?
So I didn't know quite what it was going to be about. I didn't read up on it beforehand. I struggled to begin with, and then kind of my modern day 2020 attitudes were inflamed somewhat by this film, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Absolutely.
It kind of felt very much like, what is the story here? What's the kind of message? Is it, be careful what you wish for, because you've got three women who want to go and experience the world and have this adventure and end up in show business or through show business, and their lives crumble to a degree, to varying degrees? Or is it, be content with a smaller life? Or is it men are awful and will use you up? Or, yeah. So I got into it the more I watched it, just because that part of my brain could sit there going, oh, yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah. I don't think it necessarily sets out for any particular sort of moral lesson, whatever. It's very kind of, it's actually interesting you said, I didn't realise this. The guy that made this was on the set of, or part of, Citizen Kane. And this film caught me pretty much immediately, actually. There's like a schlopsy beginning. She gets on the train, she's going into New York. But then once she gets there and she meets, the agent, wherever it was, you start going from there. I'm loving it. I'm actually loving the dialogue. I think it's actually quite witty, sassy.
The dialogue is twee and melodramatic.
No, I like it. It's definitely got that melodramatic sort of soap opera tone. And it's kind of, this film is kind of regarded as kind of bad. But I disagree. I really love it. I think I really love it. I mean, kind of the core premise of it is you've got these three women and their relationship and kind of their different lines, what happens to them. And it's very 60s. The film is profoundly 60s.
Well,
but in a more sort of positive light, because outside the door, like we've already said, you know, America is very fractured. So you've got, you know, obviously the war thing going on. You've got the race thing going on. So that America was in a huge problem at the time, and you kind of you don't get a sniff of that in this film.
That's what I mean.
This film
I think it's more
definitely in its own world.
I think it's more. Hold on. I think it's more based in the 50s and the 60s. To me,
definitely, yeah. You got definitely you got that old sort of 50s.
It felt dated, even when it was released.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think nothing really. It wasn't, you know, it didn't feel modern in any sort.
No, not at all. So it definitely lives in its own world. But you're right. I think, yeah, actually, kind of the character stuff is much more 50s. So if you wanted to kind of say or attribute any sort of real character to these three different women, sort of, you could argue that maybe Jennifer is kind of Marilyn Monroe-ish kind of thing. And then Judy Garland would be Nellie. So, you know, taking loads of dolls.
Judy Garland wasn't in it,
like a horse. What?
Laurie, Judy Garland wasn't in it.
No, the link between Judy Garland's real life
I'm trying to attribute
Neely O'Hara.
Jennifer. She's the body.
Right.
Apparently, she's got no brains.
Well,
you know, Marilyn Monroe.
The reason I'm saying
Nellie being worked like a slave horse. Judy Garland. Yeah.
The reason I'm saying it.
I love it.
Laurie, stop talking.
All right.
The reason I'm saying that was that Helen Lawson, the character Helen Lawson, was Judy Garland. She was playing the part, but she got fired due to her alcoholism. And
oh dear.
So that's why I got that link. Well, Wyndham, tell us. I mean, I was so disinterested with the story. I even got bored reading the Wikipedia synopsis. What did you think of the narrative, the plot?
What did I think of it? I thought it was all right, actually. For what I took away from it and for what I think it was trying to do, I thought it was good. You've got Anne, who, like we were saying, comes into New York to have an adventure, live an adventurous life, and falls into this world accidentally. She gets a job via an agency as a typist in a law firm, and the next thing she knows, one of the partners of the law firm is seducing her, and she's being picked up by a makeup brand. It's like, what the that's a steep trajectory. And I think she's the only one in this who wasn't seeking a specific shade of fame. She was after an adventure, has her adventure, has all the trials and tribulations that go with it, and then goes home and kind of returns having had her adventure, and she can kind of settle down. Neely definitely wants to be famous, definitely wants all the trappings of it, is a victim when we first see her of this grande dame of Broadway, who is worried she's going to be upstaged by this young new talent, gets fired, and then that launches her trajectory. And over the course of the film, going through the Judy Garland type oppression of the studio, ends up almost reenacting the character of the woman who fired her and started her on her trajectory, but without the nuance. Yeah, and so it kind of went around in circles. And as I say, the Jennifer Tate character is, you just have a body, that is your only means to making ends meet. And she's got a broken family that's reliant on her, but is also beating her down. And her story's, I think, the most tragic. Obviously, the way it ends is the most tragic, because she ends up falling in love with a lounge room singer. There's lots of pressures in their lives to stop them being together. He ultimately has an incurable genetic illness. She goes off to France to do art films, in inverted commas, comes back and kills herself. It's like, fuck. Oh, comes back, gets diagnosed with cancer, and then kills herself. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Can I tell you what...
See, listen to this. All what you're talking through. This film's fucking fantastic. It's fucking great.
Shall I tell you what Rotten Tomatoes said about it? Gave it 35%. described as
Whatever.
scattered, unintentional laughs do not compensate for terribly written, acted, and directed adaptation of a Jacqueline
Bullshit.
bestseller.
They could go suck.
Hold
they
on,
could
I
suck my
completely
plum.
I found it dull in the name, really, but that's my opinion.
Well, I was the complete opposite. I really loved it. I think, again, like, you know, I love a bit of clothes, so I like the suits and stuff. But it just keeps going on. It's so opera-ic, and it's just weird. It's the way, you know, about the falling in love, the hard asses, the glamour, the fancy dinner, the business, you know, New York, Hollywood, the dolls, obviously that addiction, suicide, breast cancer, pushy mothers.
Soap opera.
It's just really, really great.
It is cramming
it.
a lot in.
Yeah,
I agree with you on some of the writing though. It's a bit clunky.
Yeah.
very funky.
There's
So,
the bit,
but it's just if you go with it. But you said, Wyndham,
representative of the
your
era.
2020 sensibilities and stuff,
Yeah,
you really
yeah,
didn't like it. I think this film is actually really...
I didn't say I didn't like
think
it.
there's got
they
like
were
loads of,
inflamed.
like, if you talk about relationship with women and stuff like that, I think there's loads of stuff that's really going on. It's highlighting oppression of women, and there's loads of different elements. I think it's quite girl strong, this film. Very girl strong, actually, albeit in the world they're living in, they're being oppressed this and the other, but you're with these characters and you get it. You kind of get it. I think it's a proper girl strong film. I love it. I'll stop it now.
Yeah, I didn't say I didn't say I didn't like it, and I agree. I think it is that. I guess as the original novel was written by a woman, I was just wondering whether or not all that oppression is deliberately drawn out. But as it's based on a novel, I assume it is. But and that's why I came back to, I don't know what it's trying to say. Is it other than you're going to have a painful life, because it doesn't matter whether you go and accidentally end up in does that make sense? That the message is always, one of them ends up completely broken, an alcoholic and a drug addict. One of them end up dead from suicide, and one of them ends up going home to her previously small life.
Yeah.
So I wonder whether that is there's nothing you can do about it.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any particular.
Just performances. I've just got a. I thought Sharon Tate gave an okay performance.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's great. She's great.
She was, well, I've just put it. She was Polanski's first choice for Rosemary's Baby, and I think they were right to go with Mia Farrow, personally. I don't know.
No, I thought she was great.
All right. Anyone else have performances?
I think Mary, I think her name is, so the old hard-ass superstar from Broadway. I think she's fantastic. That scene where Nellie's like, flushing her wig down the toilet.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved.
Helen Lawson.
Brilliant. Yeah, awesome.
Susan Hayward, sorry.
Yeah, and I do love Nellie, albeit she's, her acting is, they could say, oh, it's too over the top. I think she's really great. The scene near the end where everyone's vanished, and she's always telling herself, yeah, I'm an arsehole, whatever, but that's fine. Everyone loves me. Well, now everyone's gone. Yeah. It's kind of sort of surreal kind of element.
She's turning around saying, Anne?
Yeah.
Jennifer?
That's it.
Lion?
Then she says Mary. So then she goes to Mary, who's her old adversary, and then she goes to God, and then she starts screaming out her own name. It all comes from within. You are the beginning, the middle, and an end of your own story kind of thing. And she falls to her knees, super melodramatic. Absolute. I freaking love this film.
Okay. All right. There wasn't much to the effect, but like the montage, there was a montage in it. Which I just
you got a couple of montages.
Yeah, just awful.
Can you play the music? Can you play that theme
I'm not
tune?
playing the music. No.
Please.
No, I'm not. So stop asking. It's not going to happen. I thought the music was bland, so I'm not playing it.
It's one song that goes on it all the way through.
Yeah.
What do you think about that scene?
It won an Oscar, I guess, that song. Oh, look, I might put it on.
Do you know who sang it? Do you know who sang it?
Not off the top of my head. Do we care that much?
Dionne Warwick.
Oh, you knew?
Dionne Warwick.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Just for me, has anyone got anything else they want to say before we wrap this up?
There's a Yeah, go on.
Go on. No, you go, Laurie.
The lovely scene in the sanitarium. So Tony, he's in a real bad way now, and Nellie's in there because she's been cracked out of her mind trying to get clean, and she starts singing Tony's old song, the one where he saw Jen and they fell in love, and she's singing it, and then slowly Tony comes out of this sort of like coma because he's away with the fairies, and they start singing together. Lovely, beautiful.
All right, memorable scene. Go on, Wyndham. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say some of the lines are quite special.
We'll come back to that at the end.
Okay, go for it.
I just wanted to point out that terrible song that they did at the telethon, where, for me, the music seemed completely out of time with the song. I don't know what that was. But it made me, I got motion sickness from watching it.
Yeah, for watching her. She moves in a kind of weird way. Yeah.
Weird. I didn't like it. I think that's when I've had enough. And
I was
looking forward to it. Go on then, give us some memorable lines.
So there's a bit where Anne and Lion Burke, have got together. They go back to Lawrenceville for a funeral, and she knocks him back. She says, "You can't sleep here tonight," because she's dealing with some emotions. He won't marry her. So he goes to stay at the hotel, checks out overnight, and fucks off to England. A couple of years later, fast forward, they're in California and they bump into each other. And he says, "England's changed, or I have. Somehow the Nightingale just sounded off key."
Yeah, I wrote that one down. I wrote that down. That's a good one.
And I have to say, there is a brilliant subtitled line in the French art film that Jennifer makes. So it's all kind of, well, yeah, we're getting down to it. Oh, yeah, I'm getting so taken over by passion. Her arm flings out and she knocks a bottle of wine off the table next to the bed. And then the French guy she's with says something, and the subtitle comes up saying, "Gabrielle, the wine almost fell in my shoes."
Yeah. And then it's Le Fin.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right.
And then she says, "I think that's the best one we've made so far."
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. My favourite line, and this will tie in definitely with the fact I never knew anything about this film, really. I was actually expecting a completely different film. I saw something late at night, and I always thought that was the Valley of the Dolls, but obviously not. But there's a line in it where Anne asks, do you think it's a hit? And Lion says, "It is with me." So that's my line for this film. Yes. Is it a hit? 100%. I love it.
All right, let's score it then.
And I've got, before we do that, last thing. What connects this film with the awesome Jaws?
Jaws?
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss knocking on the door.
Yeah, it does. Assistant theatre manager Richard Dreyfuss.
Still number one on our leaderboard, Jaws.
It's quite a good film.
All right, let's score it. Wyndham, kick us off. Oh, no, Laurie, kick us off with performances, please.
8.
2.
Christ, I've given it 6.
Effects, 0.
2.
Like the 60s montages and stuff. Yeah, 5.
Okay, plot, Win.
6.
Laurie?
8.
1. Rewatch factor, Laurie.
7.
0.
0.
Direction, 2.
5.
6.
Cinematography, Wyndham.
6.
There's some great snow in this film, and there's loads of scenes. There's loads of sets. If you count the amount of sets that are in this film, there's tons. I'm going to say 7.
1. Laurie, Sound and Music.
7.
3.
5.
Wyndham, Originality.
4.
Laurie?
8.
0. Enjoyability, Laurie.
8.
Can you guess what I've put? 0.
4.
And life-changing, past or present, 0.
0.
3.
Okay. So it gets a big whopping 9 from me.
9?
Yeah.
Oh, James. Gets a 38 from me.
Wow.
Come on, Laurie, you're going to have to adjust your scoring accordingly to get it where you want it to be on there.
No. It's fine. 54 plus 13. 67.
67. Which gives us
67.
a movie Lighthouse score of 38.
Damn it.
Which puts
Need
it
to work on my Jedi mind trick.
on our 2020 leaderboard. It puts it in 15th place, just above Chud, but below Teeth.
Below Teeth. Okay.
And in our major leaderboard, it puts it below Teeth, but above In the Mouth of Madness. Now, I thought it was going to get below In the Mouth of Madness. Or poor In the Mouth of Madness. All right. Wow. Well, listen, this has been a whopper episode. It's been like nearly 2 hours here. So,
Jesus.
It's slightly different because, as we said, it's over to Laurie. I'm having a month off from presenting. So, Laurie, you are going to tell us, I fear, which films we're going to be watching next month.
Oh, no. I've got to do it right now.
Yes, right now.
Yeah. To be fair, you've had a month to think about it.
Let's do a film that's popped on my radar. It was recommended. I've never seen it. Have you guys ever seen a film called Lake Mungo?
No.
No, I don't think so.
2008. Okay, right. So that's supposed to be a good ghost story.
Yeah. I can't believe you haven't done this bit.
What? I didn't know it was going to be unzipped here.
And you know that request that you put out and you got those responses from the very kind listeners? Are you just going to ignore those then?
Okay, all right. So I'm going to shoot for the moon. I normally attribute this film to Christmas, but I'm going to put it in here because I think, again, one of the best ghost stories, well, one of my favourite, to watch. Woman in Black, the TV version,
with Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter.
100% not that one. 100%. There's actually
we're talking about Nigel's version.
That film, The Woman in Black, this TV version, has never had a proper release, DVD release. And I believe actually only last month it's just been released. So this could be my excuse to go out and buy that because I do love this film desperately. So The Woman in Black and Lake Mungo.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, that's it. Let's wrap it up. And I cannot wait for what delights and treats you're going to have in store for us, Laurie. And remember, you have to put in a
massive curveball. Can I quickly change my mind on the last one?
Yeah, go on.
Ghost Watch.
Okay.
Should we do that?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, actually.
So Lake Mungo and Ghost Watch.
Brilliant.
Okay, cool.
That's Scream 1 thing, is it? Right, I'm going. I'll see you later.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Lighthouse. Today's episode was sponsored by the work Credulity.